Oh, hi. Let's see if it works this time. Hey, Joe, check in, see if it works. Hi, I'm Eric. I'm here with my friend Joe.
Hey, I'm Joe, and I'm here with Eric to redefine words in the English language with the help of Oklahoma-based publisher RAZORSOFT.
Yay, we definitely didn't do this once already and then
Mm-mm.
had to redo it. That's not why
No,
this is even more awkward than usual.
but it's
Anyway,
working
this
now.
is Genesis or Genesisn't. It's working now, so I can say the title of the show. I already said my name and Joe's name.
It's true.
We're going to disarm our enemies and then take the dictionary and scribble out the current definition and then write something new in. We're like all intergalactic disputes will be settled by duel to the death instead of fighting giant wars. I guess you just send your best and brightest, and then they fight. And so I'm gonna fight and probably cost humanity everything because if there's one thing I've learned from playing random old games, it takes a little bit to get good at them. So we're
Yeah.
gonna leave the music on, and I'm gonna have 5 tries, and maybe we'll check out the sound test later. Let's see what this is all about. I'm gonna take on Shanox Moisale. He's 529 years old. He's a Krog, a Crag. He's 83 strength, 81 agility. He has 12 victories.
So they published this game in 1991, and then I guess they did a second run of it or something in 1992. And there's an ad in EGM that says, "Notice, contrary to published
Whoa! This
reports,
lady has
Death Duel."
nipples.
Yes, she does. Her
Visible
her
nipples.
headlights are on, as they say. Um, Contrary to published reports, Death Duel has been banned only in certain European countries. However, it is still legal in all 50 states as of the date of this notice. Any reports indicating otherwise are unfounded, which sounds like marketing. That sounds like 100% marketing to me. Maybe it's just me.
So I guess
This
this
is
is
like
what this
if
is then.
yeah. If Battle Clash wasn't Super Scope game,
Haha.
it
Oh
would
wow,
be
he's
Death Duel.
bleeding. This game has nipples and bleeding.
Yeah, this was one of the early Genesis games are mature, man, for mature people that like things like blood and
I mean,
nipples.
I like those things. Don't get me
Well, I
wrong.
mean, sure, yeah, no, I mean,
Did I win?
but not to the exclusion of like a game that plays well.
Congratulations, you're the winner. Your bonus is 34 seconds times 100 equals
Oh,
0. That doesn't make any
I like
sense.
I like that after I think it's counting down as arcade games often do, right? But I find it interesting that after you shot his
Prepare
head
to
off,
qualify. Uh-huh.
you had to keep shooting until his neck stem came off before he was dead. There's a important life sustaining organs in his neck stem, I guess. I don't know.
What? Yeah, any kind of light gun style thing that you play with a D-pad is not really a
It's
great
usually not.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not usually good. But at this time, the Genesis did not yet have a light gun peripheral. Don't shoot the smiley faces, apparently. They cost you
Oh no. Oh yeah, that
money.
one did too. That was a frowny
Filet.
face. I guess I just want to shoot the scorpions and stuff. I qualified. I
Uh,
did it. You absolute
Snarkat,
hero. Now fight for your life. Great
Snarkast
shooting.
Productions says, still don't know what was worse, this or Slaughter Sport / Tongue of the Fat Man / Mondu's Fight Palace, which is the one title for all this the same game, and that's also a Genesis. I think that one was an Amiga game first. It was part of the
That's
Genesis and
quite a mouthful.
published by RazorSoft.
Speaking of
Um,
mouthfuls, Forsal Juraba, the
yeah, it's
laird
got some
is
mandibles. It's like
655 years old. When I kill this guy, he's gonna be sad. He's been around a long time.
a mouth, it's a mouth inside some arms inside another mouth. Is what's going on.
Repairs. No credit. Monkey, touch my monkey. Oh boy. This game is definitely very mature.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap shots, Homan rocket. Spent 0. Start. I think I would want to repair, right? I guess it just maybe it automatically takes that out.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Energy ring. Let's take
Sure.
a couple of those. And some machine guns. Sure. I spent all my money. That seems like a good plan, right?
Cigarette Juice Man says, I remember my local mom and pop video rental place advertised the blood, violence, and nudity as a feature on a huge sticker. I thought it was so cool that my parents let me rent it at the time. There's not really nudity. I mean, you see her
It's
nipples
like a
are...
wet t-shirt kind of
Yeah, it's like a wet t-shirt kind of a thing. Yeah, I mean, that was right. That was the thing, because video games were for kids until this came out and it was cool and mature. Because there's a blonde girl in a short skirt with visible nipples and blood. And I mean, you know, you're talking to a guy who went to see Hard Ticket to Hawaii in a movie theater last weekend. So, I mean, I'm not above.
Apparently I can't scroll over far enough to hit this guy.
That's bogus. That's
All right,
just
well,
bad
fuck.
design.
Come back over here, dude. Maybe I can scroll all the way back around?
the
Nope.
arena.
Oh no, there he is. He followed
circle.
me. All right. Yeah, let's bring it, sucker. Nope,
I feel like you don't have very many bullets. Like, what happens when you run out of bullets?
This is some hot bullshit. Apparently, one of this guy's special abilities is just that he can go outside the
To
level.
move out of where you can point your reticle. That's good. That's good game design. That's what
you've been totally destroyed. You've got 5 tries left because it doesn't repair you from the shop. After you exit the shop, you need to have enough money left over to repair yourself, which means I'm totally fucked.
Hmm.
Oh my god. Yep, that's it. All right, so here I'll just hang out here then, I guess.
Martel the Cool says, good afternoon, everyone.
Fuck, this fucking sucks, dude. I can't hit this guy. Am I missing something?
Yeah, a better game in your Genesis is what you're missing.
Oh, I'm dead. So I guess that's my life. So it's like you have to try and fill the life bar up as opposed to trying to drain the life bar, which is completely counterintuitive to fucking all the video games.
Right. It's more like a damage meter, right?
Oh, there, I blew his legs off. Maybe he won't be able to go outside the level.
Oh, there is one FAQ from 2006 on GameFAQs, so let's see what they tell us.
Why? So, okay, so if I aim at his face here, I'm hitting that wall. So somehow my aiming reticle is that far off, or my shots are like drawing in like a golf shot or something.
Uh-huh.
Boy, this is a lot of fun. Let me tell you.
There are no. This was the first.
I guess maybe he's got a weak point. Maybe I should be shooting at something else here. Also, yeah, I'm about to run out of ammo, so I can't hit him with. Okay, well, there. I have no ammo. Okay, you run out of ammo.
So the recommended weapons, from this FAQ are 2 machine guns and a skimmer.
Okay. I don't know if that was an option. Boy, check out those boobs, though. Hubba hubba.
What's the Genesis? I think it's a Genesis game that it was like Naughty Dog's first game, and if you put in a code before the game starts up, a topless woman appears, like in the like pre-title splash screen.
Is there some kind of trick to beating this dude that I'm missing?
That's what I'm looking. Forsal Jaraba should pose little problem. The only annoying thing is that it tends to run off to the side of the screen, which means you have to switch to stationary mode to attack.
Oh, okay. How do I do
that? The other
that?
small problem is that you have to destroy all the body parts before you attack the head. First, move all the way to one side of the arena and switch to stationary mode. When Forsal appears, use skimmers to blow off both sets of legs and then attack the arm cannons. Now you have to attack the quad tail cannon, but you have to wait for it to open. Once the tail is destroyed, you can finally destroy the head, and the brain will die.
Right. I got it. Maybe when he turns... Okay, I gotta wait till he's not gray, because I'm still not doing any... Okay, there, he just died. He went from, like, a bunch of health to no health, like, instantly.
Immediately. Navion says, "Wow, I remember this game. This was at the time the bloodiest game I had played as a kid. Remember, homing rockets are your best friend."
Okay.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing the ads and stuff in the magazines, and then I think when I finally got a Genesis, I didn't get a Genesis until like
Prepare to
92 or 93. Like I got a Genesis after I had a Super Nintendo, and this game felt bad by the time I played it because it was already a couple years old, and I'd played stuff like Sonic and Sonic 2 and it's just a Toe Jam and Earl and a bunch of much better Genesis games, and this game felt bad. RAZORSOFT's only really RAZORSOFT's only really decent game is Jerry Glanville's Pigskin Foot Brawl, which is a port of a Midway arcade game.
did it. I
which is
qualified.
why it's good.
I'm an absolute hero.
There you go. Camaristico says, "Ah, shit, it's Death Duel. This was kinda somewhat interesting when I first played it." There's a lot of faint praise for this game in the chat tonight. Martel the Cool says this game seems to suck. And Cigarette Juice Man says Rings of Power was the Naughty Dog game with the topless woman. Thank you, Cigarette Juice Man, for coming to my rescue on that one. Let me check what your recommended loadout is for the next one before you.
Good idea. Apparently I can sell stuff
Machine gun times 1, machine gun times 1, skimmer times 3.
I don't have skimmer is not an option. I have lob mine and slow-mo cloud.
Skimmer, 4,000 per cost per purchase, 20 ammo.
Nope.
No. Maybe you have to. Do you have an? Is there like an upgrade path or something?
I don't know. I'm gonna sell this
You'll be allowed to
back.
buy weapons and repair any damage. To purchase weapons and repair your robot, you need to gain filet, which is blah blah blah. There's weapons zones. Note that some weapons will not work. I don't know. Maybe the way that it always puts this is it has skimmer in the center, so maybe different slots can only hold certain. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, if that makes
think there's a way for me to
like
change
maybe the skimmer has to be in the center slot. You can't put it anywhere else.
Change what's... Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I got it. You can change. You can scroll through the weapons.
Right.
Okay, so we want a skimmer over here.
You want one skimmer with 3. You want 3 doses of skimmer.
I got the filet for that, man.
Okay, well.
I'll take 1 skimmer. And then just machine guns.
2
saying?
machine guns is what it right. suggests. Yeah. Let's see here. Camaristico says it's all about being vague. Jeremy Bauer says, "I saw this game advertised in Sega Visions, and it just oozed taboo to my 10-year-old self." Right. Camaristico says, "I guess I'm a modern day Peter Baelish."
I was able to fix myself.
Modern day Peter Baelish would be the mayor of Baltimore, right?
Put him 6 feet under.
What's the name of that actor? Aiden. You remember the name of that actor? Who played the guy who becomes the mayor on The Wire, and then everybody thought it was funny because he played Littlefinger on Game of Thrones.
I don't know what his name is.
He's an English actor, British actor. I don't remember his name. Yeah, a lot of waxing nostalgic about how taboo and off the. I mean, and I guess that's I mentioned that too. This was before Mortal Kombat. This was before Street Fighter 2, I think. So the idea of this on a console, something this violent, even though this game is like extremely tepid.
I was gonna say this is not like action movies had been out at this time.
Right. But if you were a kid, especially if you had parents who were like, a certain way, like my dad.
I rented a bowling game and watched RoboCop with my dad when I was like 7 years old.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. But if you weren't of that persuasion and your parents didn't realize that, they just assumed that whatever video games are fine, and the first time you saw a video game like this was being able to shoot people's arms off and heads off and
I'm not gonna
all that, you would be.
Is there some kind of secret area that I can shoot this guy in?
Hot strats on this one. Let's see here.
I think my real thing I should do is just reset because I wasted all my money in that first battle.
You should only need skimmers. Let's see. This guy can be annoying mainly because it likes to encase itself in a spiked carapace and roll around. However, he rarely attacks and is not terribly hard to kill. First, blow off its head and it will be replaced. Then destroy his arms and legs and it will use jet propulsion to move about. Krax will probably use his spiked carapace more often now, but all you have to do is destroy the head again and you will be victorious.
Okay.
The person who wrote this this game facts entry in 2006 was very descriptive for an FAQ on a game that at the time was
I really like that I
15 years
blew
old.
his leg off, and then he got a little rocket to hold himself up, and then I blew his other leg off, and then he got another rocket. I think that's very good.
Yeah. Do you get money for killing those like little sandworms that keep
Maybe.
popping up?
I don't really have enough. I don't have enough ammo to find out right
I
now.
have enough ammo to fuck around with that. Okay.
Well, now he's just hiding behind this wall. This fucking
What a wuss.
sucks. Why am I still hitting the goddamn wall when he's way over there? Alright, we're just gonna reset. We're gonna start over. It's the only way.
There's no way to not blow all your money on the first
Yeah,
fight.
I mean, I could accidentally just shut the game off. Are there any codes for this? Can we see some of the other dudes? Or
I didn't see any, but let me double check.
Alright, come on, Shanox.
You know what? I'm over this FAQ writer. At the bottom he says Sound and Music 1. Note that in my opinion the Sega Genesis has the worst audio chip of the 16-bit era.
Okay, what?
He gives like a review score at the bottom.
Compared to, so what are the other options? Super Nintendo, TurboGrafx, I guess.
PC Engine. Yeah, I mean, well, we've talked about this before, but when it's good, it's very good. You know, when it's bad, it's very bad. But that's a bad attitude to have. I don't see any codes for this game, so unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see Darius Morb and Borb Ubistopisia or Carl Borges.
I mean, we saw him in the intro video. I mean, I can't.
Wow,
this guy's just hiding behind this wall, and there's nothing I can shoot at him. But it feels like a waste of ammo to blow this wall apart. You know what I mean? Also,
if time runs out and you're like ahead on damage, do you like automatically
I don't
win?
know. I think it's like a punch-out situation.
I don't. Well, maybe Punch-Out had weird rules about that, though, right? Like sometimes you could.
There, I blew his leg off. Out of time. Yep. Okay, so I lose no matter what. Great. Great. Cool.
It's not a Punch-Out, or maybe it is a Punch-Out situation, and you just need to like do a bunch of damage. Because in Punch-Out, some matches you couldn't win by decision against the champions.
This guy's such a fucking coward. Fight me. I'm gonna blow up the wall. What are you gonna do now? There, blew his
I feel like
legs off.
he wasn't hiding behind the wall this much the first time you fought him.
Also, it doesn't like sometimes it just doesn't seem to matter how you move. Oh, he grew his legs back because he's a goddamn lizard.
Yeah, he's a lizard, I guess.
I blew his head out. He doesn't have a head.
Kurt's here just in time for you to yell about this weird
guy doesn't
thing
have a
going.
head. He's not dead. Now I'm out of ammo.
You shouldn't shoot it.
Lost.
You shouldn't shoot him into two pieces because then you'll have to fight two lizards.
That's right. That's how lizards breed. Is that one lizard bites the other lizard's tail off, and then the baby lizard
Grows a new lizard.
Yeah, it's incredibly violent. Part
Sounds sexy to me.
Genesis. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't
Abdomen dentata.
He looks green, but
Something.
really he's yellow because all he does is hide behind that fucking wall.
He's
Run,
yelling.
coward.
Sinistar is a lizard.
Eric is Sinistar now.
I mean, I'd believe that.
Well, you're supposed to be the big if you look at the box art, you're supposed to be the big robot, right?
Yeah.
So he kind of is the Sinistar.
I know. Apparently,
Kinda.
I'm not hitting this guy. I'm not shooting this guy in the right spots because I'm not doing any damage to him. I figured it out the first time, but
The internet has told me that there's glowing weak points always, and so you just shoot there. This is what I've been told.
let's see if I get anything for killing this little guy that's crawling across the bottom.
Turns out that's the key right there.
I don't have to do anything. Nothing happens if I just stand here. He just stands there and looks at me.
Then you run out of time and lose that way.
Also, if these are supposed to be homing missiles, they fucking suck. Also, the arcs on the throws and stuff is all fucked up. I don't like this game. It's a bad game. This game's not good. It's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I need reloading.
This game, Genesis bullshit.
Seems that way.
Oh, there,
April Howard says, "Hey man."
I guess
don't know
maybe
which of-
maybe the
which of
secret
the-
to beating this guy is just to like get your DPS game real high and just hit him all
Yeah.
out.
Sure.
Congratulations.
Sorry, I interrupted you, Joe.
You're the winner. Oh, I just said April Howard said, "Hey man," and I don't know which of the three men she's talking to. I'll assume it's me. So
No,
hi.
it's me.
It's the lizard.
It's the lizard.
You're the one playing the game, so it probably, and you're the one whose face is on screen, so it probably is you.
Don't tell
actually.
people this could be anybody's face.
A lot of people do have your face.
And I feel very bad for all of them.
Oh, stop.
Look at this little football helmet guy.
Yeah, well, I was gonna look up more of the history of RAZORSOFT here because they're a weird.
Is all this stuff on the screen normally there?
This is like a
Like
bonus
the giant
level.
logo and all this shit at the bottom?
No, this is like a bonus level. So in between rounds, you get money that you can use to buy new weapons and heal your mech. And so this is just like a way to get extra of the filet stuff. All right, so let's see here. Missile, laser gun.
Cigarette Juice Band says you sort of look like Dan Reichert.
That's how dare you?
I don't know how to take that. I don't know how you should take that, I guess.
All right.
Apparently, the game over screen is somewhat legendary in this game, so you should lose.
No
I mean,
smoldering.
All I have to do is
I mean-
sit real still for a while, and I'll lose eventually, I guess.
Right.
I mean, the monkey just tweaked that dude's nose. I mean, this is kind of a pretty great game at this point.
So there's really no upside for me to keep my ammo because I lose it at the end of the thing anyway. So
So now it's a robot lizard. Or scorpion.
it's a
or
skeleton scorpion.
Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
Scalopian.
I feel like I bought way more stuff than I needed for that fight. Look at
So-
that filet, though.
RAZORSOFT
I'm going to
published.
Philadelphia tonight, baby.
Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
RAZORSOFT published 6 games in their lifetime, all of them for Sega systems.
Okay.
One was for the Master System. It was the 1993 Sega Master System port of Rampart. Go figure.
Okay.
Then on the Genesis, they did Stormlord, which is notoriously bad.
Got a good name,
Technocop
though.
does have a good name. Technocop, which we have played on this show and is also notoriously bad,
That's a rough
but
one.
gory.
Not just
Slaughter-
notoriously bad, right? Confirmed bad.
Yeah, I can
Confirmed
tell
bad.
you that it's bad.
Slaughter Sport, which is also known, as we discussed a little earlier, as Mondu's Fight Palace and Tongue of the Fat Man.
And none of those 3 games are good.
and none of them are good. Jerry Glanville's Pigskin Foot Brawl, which there was an episode of obscure
You're just
old
making
games on.
shit up now.
I'm not. That's based on Pigskin 621 AD from Midway.
But
which
was
is
that
really
not a brawl?
It was a foot brawl, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the tagline. It was Pigskin 621 AD. It's a foot brawl.
Oh, I see.
Then it was sort of the precursor to Arch Rivals, which was a basketball, which
Right.
in turn was a precursor to NBA Jam. And then Death Duel was their final game. And apparently, most of the games that they made were either developed or published by Punk Development in Sunnyvale, California. And when RAZORSOFT went tits up,
Get it?
Pu-
Kurt, did you see
yeah.
the girl's boobs?
I missed it.
Okay, well,
You
you got
didn't
another
miss
I looked
chance.
away.
Yeah, you,
You
got
didn't
another
miss it.
chance.
I looked away.
But Punk founder Jeff Spangenberg started his new studio with most of the people who had worked with him at Punk Development, which was
Hardcore.
Iguana Entertainment,
Oh.
which was sort of well known for porting a lot of
Great
games
logo.
from Midway Arcade Games as well. So
Great logo.
Uh,
Iguana.
I'm going
Iguana
to.
Entertainment, they did have a great logo, and the version of the logo on the NBA Jam like tournament edition loading screens with the iguana spinning a basketball on its finger,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
A lot of great logo
It's pretty
treatments
good.
also.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
I'm going to mute while I eat this delicious cherry turnover that my lovely wife received. Procured
My
for
cherry
me
turnover.
earlier.
I did it. I won again.
I mean, I have one here
I'm
for
on
you.
a roll, baby.
It's in Washington D.C.
Yeah, you
Go
just
get
have
it.
to get here.
You just have to go get it.
If it wasn't Mother's Day weekend.
For Mother's Day, I'll give you 2.
All right, I'll bring her with me.
I'll give you 1, and you take 1 back to your mom.
Okay, fair.
Yep. There you go.
Prepare to qualify. All right, I'll qualify. I'll see this next dude, and then I'll die my life, and we'll check out
The infamous game over
the.
screen.
Yeah. This is like shitty first-person shooter Punch-Out.
It's like I was gonna say it's like Teleroboxer, but Teleroboxer isn't shitty, despite being on a shitty platform.
You absolute hero. I like that it calls me an absolute hero, though. That's fun. Darius Morb.
That's different than being an absolute unit.
Machine gun.
That is.
What haven't we
It's true.
seen? Skimmer, lob grenade, energy ring, slow mo. Let's check out the slow mo cloud. I was kind of digging that laser gun.
This just to point it out, the guide suggests that for Darius Morb, you want to have 2 skimmers on one side, 2 skimmers on the other side,
Joe
and
really
1
likes
missile in the
skimmers.
center. Yeah. Missiles are a must because they can destroy Darius Morb's weapon systems with 1 shot.
My slow mo clouds just went right over him. So. Actually, the fastest way to lose would have been for me to just buy like 1 weapon and then just burn through all my ammo real fast. I'm realizing
Yeah.
now. If you want game over screen speedrun strats for Death Duel,
A few years ago at Games Done Quick, they did speed runs of Die Hard for the NES to see how fast they could die, because you can just shoot out a window and jump out of it. Jeremy Bauer says this would have been cool as a light gun game. It seems, yeah. If someone could like hack the ROM to make it compatible with a light
maybe
gun.
the problem is
I
that
mean, cool.
it takes a lot of. You'd have to rebalance how many
Better.
shots it takes to kill things. I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I mean,
Apparently-
it would be Battlezone for the Super Nintendo, right?
Yeah,
Like
that
that's
game kind of sucks too, though.
it is.
I mean, I don't. It's hard to tell because the Super Scope 6 sucks. So it's like.
Yeah, the Super Scope was not a good light gun.
So like maybe some of those games wouldn't be so bad if you could play them with like a gun con or something. But
Gun con.
yeah, yes.
Mm.
See. It also seems like you can kind of figure out where guys will take damage because of the noise that it makes when you hit them. So I like that this guy's mech is just like a shitty pig. Well, I figured out what they mean by a whole new meaning to disarm my enemies. So, mission accomplished, I guess, on that front. To be honest, the slow-mo cloud does not seem very good.
Oh, punny.
Let's see what the FAQ has to say about the slow-mo cloud.
Oh, please tell me.
Why would you take this when there are skimmers? That's what it says.
The slow-mo cloud is similar to the energy ring, but is a larger projectile, travels in a low arc, and turns the opponent green. The slow-mo cloud appears as a large yellow translucent sphere. Again, can be useful for fast opponents, but only when necessary.
You're eliminated, you spineless worm. Is that it? Okay, now there's a Grim Reaper, and
I was saying no. There's a.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a pretty dope jam. Oh damn! Your defeat has brought chaos to the Federation. Your cowardice and betrayal shall be known throughout the stars. Your decaying corpse will be an object for ridicule and scorn. Disgrace will follow your family for centuries. Once adored and worshipped by all, your rotting flesh will serve as a reminder of the price of failure. Oh, the horrible pain of defeat. Game over. Death Duel.
Wow.
Genesisn't a very good time.
I don't know that it's as good
A
as
Death Duel. Never mind. Tell me about the horrible pain of defeat.
Something lamentation of your women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other contenders for greatest game over screen are Ninja Gaiden in the arcade and Friday the 13th on NES. And I think this one's a little bit too verbose.
What was we saw? There was a dope ass one that we saw like back a while on this show that had me cracking up, but I can't remember which one it is now.
Was it the one with the ooze?
Oh yeah, it was the ooze.
The ooze had a good one.
Game over screen.
That was the last time I mentioned the Ninja Gaiden arcade game over screen, I think.
Hi, Mike. Made it just.
Hi. This game looks weird.
It's not.
It reminds me of some of the crappy PC games I played when I was a kid.
It's a bad first-person shooter, but it has really the lowest possible resolution sprite nipples. So it's got that going for
They're
it.
literally 1 pixel.
Yeah, literally 1 pixel nipples. And the one pixel
Just
nipple.
no effort whatsoever.
If you were making like a nerdcore rap group, 1 pixel nipple, I think would be good. That'd be a fucking good name.
That is pretty great.
Anyway, we'll be back again.
1 pixel nixel, 1 pixel nipple, and his buddy Merkin.
Oh boy.
Electric Merkin.
That's it. We're getting out of here.
Electric Merkin.
Bye. It's 1 pixel nipple signing off.
1 pixel nickel out.
I gotta change all my usernames.
It's hard to say fast.
Bye.